Okay, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we ask for your help in this class hour, Lord. We have a lot to cover, and these weeks are so important, Lord, to lay the foundation for the rest of the semester. Lord, it's so important that they become quick and familiar with key signatures and whole steps and half steps and building scales and so on. Lord, thank you for those who are able to turn in their homework already. Lord, I pray that you would help the rest who don't even have books yet, that they could get their books soon, and that all those things can be figured out. And Lord, help us to be patient and to persevere and to do the best we can with the situations you've given us. And we know that you'll help us as we're in your will. Lord, help us to work hard and to do your will with your grace. Lord, we're asking for it today in our class. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, let me make sure I marked everybody. There's no name coming up here. Okay. So I was telling myself this morning that if you guys were human beings that were meeting in the same room with me, then I would treat you differently. So I thought to myself, I need to try to treat them like they're my friends and that we're really at BJ and BC meeting in the building. So I thought, I'm sure that by now, if we were meeting together, then I would have told you this, what I'm about to tell you, which is just a testimony to encourage you that a week before school started was almost my birthday. And my sister and I decided to have a birthday party in spite of the pandemic. And we actually prayed about it and we asked for advice even. And we invited just a very few church mates who could come over. There was supposed to be, I think, 4 at that time, just a few people. And then they came over on a Saturday and we had wonderful fellowship together, and we haven't hardly seen each other because we're just meeting online. And they stayed the night on Saturday, and then on Sunday, when our church saw all the people at our house on Zoom, then I think 4 more said, we're going to get in taxis and we're going to come to your house right now, join you. And I thought, well, I'm not going to say no because I love them and I really want to see them. So fine, whatever. They all arrived and everything seemed perfect. In fact, 2 of the people are a young married couple, and the husband offered to wash the dishes. So I was helping him in the kitchen. I was drying the dishes and we were talking. And then his wife came over and she was whispering to him. And I thought, maybe it's a family matter or something. So I just ignored it. Well, come to find out that he had visited the hospital the week before, and they had required him to take a COVID test. And while he was washing the dishes, he got a text from the hospital saying he was positive. And we were so shocked because we thought, we'll have a birthday party, it will be a blessing and everything will be well. And it was not well. So he and his wife immediately left and went home because they can isolate in their home. Well, he never had any symptoms. He didn't have any symptoms before the test or after the test. Till this day, he's never had symptoms. So we think he's asymptomatic. So anyways, the problem was, what do we do with all the other people at our house? We can't send them home. We've all been exposed. So yeah, that was a week before school started, and we were advised by a doctor, well, you need to quarantine for 14 days. So we had 6 guests for 14 days, to our surprise. And that started a week before school started. And I don't know if any of you noticed in the first 2 chapels that in chapel we had like a whole bunch of people on our screens. That's because I required all of them to attend chapel while they were staying in my house. So it was a big, huge adventure. And a few of them, they didn't bring clothes to stay the night. They didn't plan ahead. They had no idea that was going to happen. And the Lord really used it. And I'm actually nervous to keep Filipinos in my home because I'm so worried that I'll do something wrong. They won't like my food, or what if you know, I don't understand some cultural cue or something. And the Lord helped me so that hopefully they were comfortable. They seemed comfortable. The Lord just gave us really good fellowship and encouragement. And I feel like I had conversations with them I never would have had in church, because in church, you're dressed up, you look nice, you go to the service, that's it. But when they're in your home, there's something about that makes people more willing to talk about their problems, and so on. So yeah, it was the most memorable birthday I've ever had in my whole life. And we really thought no one's going to go home because now there's a transportation lockdown. You know, how is everyone going to get home afterwards? And furthermore, anyway, there was other problems. So last Monday we thought, okay, this is going to turn into a 3 or 4 week thing, you know. And then last Monday, the Lord just worked. It's too long to explain, and we need to be studying music right now. But I just wanted to share that with you, that's what was remarkable thing that was happening in our life. And I was trying to act like a good BJMBC teacher, and like, I know all about teaching basic musicianship online, but actually I'm panicking because it's my first time teaching online and I don't know what I'm doing. And meanwhile, I have like 8 people in my house and I'm trying to keep everything going, and I'm like panicking all over the place. But I have to say the Lord did carry us and made it really special for us. And my sister lives here with me. We definitely love our church mates more because of having that experience with them and the way they trusted the Lord about it. And thank the Lord, after 14 days, no symptoms for any of us. The Lord just chose to protect us. So that's a blessing. And the guy who was positive never had any symptoms. And his wife also took swab test and she also tested negative. So we're just thankful. The Lord, for some reason, wanted them to be in our house for those weeks. So that's my whole story. And now I need to stop talking and make sure I mark everyone present. We have somebody else. Shannon is here. Okay. Thank you to those of you who did the homework. Some of you have contacted me to tell me you didn't get your book yet. And I realized I could easily create a sheet for you where I would number the blanks and then you could write it on your own paper and return it. So I'll work on doing that. If you don't have a book yet, I know Precious doesn't, I know Christian doesn't. I think there was somebody else who contacted me. Faith, okay. And then I think I sent Jessa some PDFs, and Twang I sent his at the last minute, so he'll have a little more time. But the point being, I'll generate that, and then maybe there's a way you can at least get started on it so you don't get behind. And really, you can sit in class. Okay, also Shannon says she doesn't. Okay, you can sit in class and sort of listen and not really get it. And for some reason, when you do the homework and you have to do the same process over and over, you really start to get it, I think. So I just think that's really important and that you should try as much as we can. I'm gonna try to create that. So let me think. What if I figure out how to put that on Google Classroom? Let me try to do that. Today is Friday. By Lord willing, before I go to bed tonight, or tomorrow, I'll try to put that on there, and then you, I guess I'm just gonna say finish it as soon as you can. Here's the thing, we have class on Monday. Don't forget we have class on Monday because it's gonna be a weird week next week. And in fact, I should tell you this too, now that I'm talking a lot. There's actually homework according to the syllabus, there's homework due on Monday. And I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to announce it on the Google Classroom. Don't panic yet. Here's the deal. I looked over the homework that's due Monday, and I decided to cancel one of them because when we did it last year, I thought it was way too confusing and it wasn't helpful. So I've decided to take it out. So won't worry about that one. And then the other one, I thought it might be helpful if we just did it in class together, honestly. So don't worry about any homework for Monday, okay? Just come to class and we'll do that worksheet together while I explain it, because we're kind of behind in being ready for that one anyway. So don't worry about that. I'll make that an announcement on Google Classroom. So in case you forget what I just said or whatever, you can see there'll be no homework due on Monday, but come to class and we'll do it together. Okay, all right. Let me triple check that my PowerPoint is here. I said that Christian and Twang were going to practice sharing screens today. Did either of you remember? You're smiling behind a handkerchief. Okay. All right. So how about Christian? Are you up for trying it? Do you have your photo up on the desktop? He's doing it already. Oh, that was so easy. Hey, I didn't have to coach you at all. Yay, hooray, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so remember that when we were talking about this, we wanted that ledger line to be about the same distance here as these are apart from each other. Can you all see my arrow? Yeah? Ah, you already took it down. Can you bring it back? Okay, good. So he did a really good job distancing like this from here and here to here. And then do you see how his lines here are parallel with each other? They go all the way across. If you can see that, can you just give me a thumbs up? Okay, a couple people. And then here, see how his C line is the same all the way across? So I would say here, it's a little bit far, a tiny bit far compared to how close together these are, right? Do you see what I'm talking about? I don't know if you can see my arrow. All right. Okay, can you stop share? Yay, great. Thank you. That's perfect. Okay, Twang, is yours up on your screen? So you'll click on the share screen at the bottom of your screen, and then you'll choose that picture. It'll come up as one of the choices, and then you'll push share again. So you'll push share twice. It looks like it's coming. There it is. Yay, I can see it. Good. Okay, good. He also I don't know if you can see my arrow, but I like how this first ledger line is equal all the way down, all the way across like that. So that's nice. And then his distance between here, between the ledger lines and his drawn line are even. Very, very nice. I can read that right away. Can you guys? I can tell what notes those are right away. His note heads are a little bit oval, so I can tell right away what they are. Good, nice treble clef. Could curl around the G line a little bit better. Good, you can stop share. So you'll go to the top of your screen. There you go. There's a red button up there and you'll just stop share. Okay, we'll keep practicing that so that from time to time, we can all look at each other's homework. Okay, so while we're thinking about that, I will share this one. Okay, so we did that one already. We're gonna have a quick review of a few of these things. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say a name and you're gonna unmute and say the answer out loud. I'm gonna pick on everyone today, so everyone be ready because I'm gonna call on you. If you wanna have your textbook open, if you wanna be looking at examples, it's okay with me. You don't have to necessarily say from memory. Okay, I'm gonna choose someone. I choose PJ. PJ, if there are 3 sharps, what are the names of those sharps? Can you unmute and tell us? FC G. FCG. Good, that's it. They're always in that order, remember that? I pick Faith. If there are 2 flats, what are the flats? Oh, can you unmute?
FC, ma'am.
C.
I flat, sorry, BE.
Yes, you're right, B. I was like, what is she talking about? Good, you got it. It's B flat and E flat, good. Okay, we're getting harder. How about precious?
B-E-A-N-D.
That's it, right. So flats start with the word bead, B-E-A-D. So you can just remember that. Okay, here's the hard one. I'm gonna ask Jan. What are the six sharps?
F, C, G, D, A, E.
Got it, good. Even I stumble when it's that many. Okay, Missy, how are you doing today? Can you tell us the sharps in order, the seven sharps in order?
Sabi ko mo jowa kita. Ano po? Ano po? 7 flats.
Sorry, did I say sharps? I meant flats.
Flats. B flat. In order po, Ma'am Ruth.
Yes, in order.
B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Ano ba? D flat, C flat, and G flat. Is that right?
So the way that I remember it, this is a weird way, is bead, B-E-A-D, and then G-C-F. That's just how I memorized it. You could do it another way. Does anybody else have another way that you remember the order? Could unmute. I can tell Faith is answering out loud, but not saying it.
I mean, that's it, ma'am. That's how it is.
Alright.
Also.
So that's how I remember bead, GCF, B-E-A-D, and then GCF. That's just how I remember. Okay, now here's the problem. And actually next year I'm planning to start explaining this by talking about scales before talking about keys, because I feel like it'll be easier to understand, but right now we're learning keys. So remember with the flats, you look at not the last flat, but the one before, and that's the name of the key in flats. Remember that? And you have to say the word flat. So if it's 4 flats, then it's A flat. The key is A flat because it's not the last flat, it's the one before. And with sharps, look at the last flat and go up one letter name. That's the name of the key. So remember sharps, last sharp, go up one letter name. Flats, next to the last flat. Okay, let's try something different. I'm going to click on the key and everybody, let me see if I can pull up the chat. You know what? I was going to tell you guys, where is it? That when you get impatient with the teacher because they're not answering your chats while they're teaching, it's because if you're sharing the screen, you have to like really go and look for the chat and then pull it, and then it comes up in the middle of your screen. It's kind of hard to see. So all that to say, be patient with us when you send a question in the chat and the teacher doesn't answer. It's because they're looking at their shared screen. Okay, I'm gonna flash the key, and who can be the first to tell the name of the key? Ready? Yay, Christian was first, but you can all join in. There you go. Good. Everyone can write that in there to remind yourself. Good. So why isn't this called the key of C? Right? The key of C is no sharps or flats at all, right? So if we called it the key of C, it couldn't be that one. It has to be key of C sharp. You're not going to find this key very often. Okay, what about this one? Good. That's right. So it's not the last flat, it's the next one before that. And because there's only 2, okay, so it's not the key of B, that's a different one. Key of B flat. How about this one? Okay, good. That's it. So next to the last flat is G flat. Good. How about this? I think I'm just repeating myself here. Yeah, I'm just trying to trick you to see if you're paying attention. Good, you got it. It's C sharp. Good. So it's not C, it's C sharp. Faith changed her answer. That's fine. Okay, how about this? Yeah, in this case, it's E, and you're just going to have to believe me on that one until I explain the scales. It's not E sharp, it's just the key of E. How about this one? Good, it's the same thing. It can't be C major because C major has no sharps or flats. It has to be C flat. Good. Okay, now I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna pull this thing up here. You know what? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. If you have your textbook, I was gonna encourage you that if anybody has their textbook, those of you who have it, you should have it nearby whenever we have class, because I'll sometimes refer to worksheets that we're not gonna do as homework, but I want you to look at them. Or I'll want you to look at different examples in your book. If you have your textbook and you look in the back, there's a set of worksheets that just have a handwritten number on them. And this one, and these are handwritten number 1 and number 2. And it says the circle of fifths on top of it. Looks like this one. If you have your textbook, you can look at that one. So let's see. First of all, I'll give you a brave speech about how, like I said on the first class, that God set up music in a very orderly way, and we as humans, we merely discover the way He made for it to work, and it's really actually extremely organized. And people didn't invent this. God made it to be like this. So that's why it's so amazing to us. Okay, so can you see my arrow? I think I ask that all the time. See how this top key at the very top of this circle has no sharps or flats, and we call that key of C. Mm-hmm. Do you see how if we move to the right of the circle, we see 1 sharp, and we see that it's called the key of G. Now I'm gonna go here and show you this one. Now, every time I try to draw on the screen, my thing freaks out. Let me see if I can draw on it. Yay, okay, let's try it. So here's key of C, and let's say we're moving to key of G. Can you see my mark? Did that show? Yay, I did something right for once. Okay. So let's count how far apart this note C is from the note G. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 5 notes away. So key of C, no sharps or flats. Key of G, 1 sharp. Okay, let's go back to this. Can I take that off? Let me see. No, I can't. Okay, I'm learning as I go. Here we go. Ah! It kept a line there. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me see if I can do it. Nope. Okay. What's that? Did somebody give me advice? Okay, ignore it. Okay, now we see key of G has 1 sharp, and then 2 sharps is key of D. Okay, so let's look back at the piano again. So we went key of C. I'll still try this again, even though I failed. So we have key of C goes to key of G. Now it has 1 sharp. Now we're going from key of G to key of D. So we go from key of G to key of D. And now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Surprise, how can it be that they are the same distance apart? So I wonder what 3 sharps is going to be. What if I start on D and I count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll land on A. And now I'm going to do this. So see how it went C, G, D, and then the next one was A. Isn't that interesting? That every time you add a sharp, you're moving a fifth. You're moving 5 notes apart. So I'm going to see whether I'm smart enough to clear my, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I'm so good. Wow, I'm so advanced in technology. The point being, there's a reason we call this thing the circle of fifths. If we go to the right, every time we add a sharp, it's a fifth down. If we move to the left, we're going to move the opposite direction. So let me show you. So starting with C, oh, hey, I have to undo my thing. Hang on. If we start with C and we count down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we land on F. So starting with C, counting down, fifth down becomes F, and that's the first flat. We count 5 down from F, we land on B flat because B flat is in the key, right? We can't just say B. Then it's a fifth that way. B flat to E flat, a fifth. E flat to A flat, a fifth. And this is where the keys start mixing up because it's like now they're overlapping because D flat goes to G flat. But so these keys are twin keys, right? Because a G flat and an F sharp are actually the exact same note. I'll show you. G flat and which one did I say? Am I right? Yes, G flat and F sharp. G flat and F sharp are the exact same note, so that's why they're saying that those are blending right there in the middle of the circle of fifths. All right, so stare at that and be amazed. Start memorizing because I'm going to have you get out a piece of paper and I'm going to give you 5 minutes or so, and this is what I want you to do. I took this from the homework, from your homework book, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper and write down what key are the numbers that I wrote there. So the first one is done for you. C going to G is already done for you. C going to F is done for you. And then I want you to write what would go in blank 1, what would go in blank 2, what goes in blank 3, 4, 5. So you can think of the key name since you've already drilled that. You can think of it. But I want you also to think, okay, is that 5 notes away? Did I count that right? Am I remembering the key correctly? In about 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to start calling on names and say, what did Shannon put in blank 3? What did Faith put in blank 9? What did Tuan put in blank 5? Okay, so you can start filling that out, and then I'll call on you. So just keep working. Make sure that you notice that this is bass clef. I don't know if you're looking at the sharps or flats different if you realize that it's bass clef. Okay, if you finish quickly, then could you click on participants and look for that little blue hand? Can you put up the blue hand so I know who's finished? Yay. Good. Okay, I think. Have one. Let me see if I can lower hands. Oh. Okay, there should be a way. Ah, here we go. Ta-da! I lowered all your hands. Took me a minute, but I figured it out. Okay, good, everyone, good. What I'll do is I will call out a number and a name. I'm just gonna go down my screen. You're probably in a different order on your screen, but I'll just start there. So I'll call a number and a name, you unmute and tell me the key. Okay, so number 1, Jan.
D.
D, good. Number 2, Precious.
A.
Yes, that's correct. Number 3, Twang.
E.
Yes, good. Number 4, Faith.
B, ma'am.
Good. Let's see who's next on my screen. Number 5, Missy. Did you get that far? Number 5.
5. G flat F sharp.
Whoa, she gave a fancy answer. That's number 5. Actually, 11 would be the G flat, but good. All right. 6 is Christian. Oop, I've lost you. Where are you? Christian, what happened? He got sent into outer space. I don't know. Okay, 7, Jessa. Jessa, number 7. What is number 7? Oh, I can't. Can you unmute yourself or I'll unmute you? Did you say B flat? Okay, good. That's right. Let's see. Maybe he just sent me a message. I can't open my messages. I don't know. Okay. Number 8, PJ.
E flat.
You got it. Good. Number 9, Shannon. Are you there, Shannon?
A flat.
You got it. Good. So we're left with 10 and 11, and I think I called on everyone-ish. Okay, so for 10 I had D flat, and for 11 I had G flat. Good. Do you get the idea? The main thing I wanted to show you was their relationship being fifths apart each time you. Uh-oh, somebody is unmuted. Let me see who this person is. here. Do that. Okay, all right, I think I have everyone. Okay, now here's so the good news is that's the coolest thing ever, that fifths change the key by one sharp or one flat. That is the coolest thing. The bad news is you need to memorize this and be able to draw it yourself on I think it's the midterm. The midterm will have this. So you'll, for example, you'll get like this exact chart, only there'll be no sharps or flats in those little staffs. You'll draw the sharps and the flats and you'll write in what letter name it is. So you'll draw one sharp, two sharps, three sharps, four sharps, and you'll write all the things in on the midterm. So we'll review this before the midterm, hopefully, but just keep in mind, it's not just a fun brain exercise, you'll be held accountable for it. So yay, it's cool, it's exciting, isn't it? You should be pleased and can't wait for the midterm probably, I'm guessing. Okay. We're going to start talking about a concept that we're going to work on more on Monday, okay? We're going to talk about this. Did you know that okay, let's say it this way. If you want to become a doctor or a car mechanic, the first several years that you study those topics, all you learn is the name of the parts. You know, the doctor has to learn all the parts of the body before he even learns what they do, right? The mechanic, he has to know which one is the carburetor, which one is the engine, and which one, I don't even know what these things are. I've just heard them. He has to know the difference between the tires and the steering wheel, right? Because if he calls the wrong one the wrong thing, then he's going to really not do good as a mechanic at all. And musicians are like that. We have names for lots of different things, and you need to know what they mean. Because when you go into Music Theory 1 and Mom Janine starts teaching, she'll say these terms and she won't tell you what they mean. So you make me proud and learn them so that you'll know, and then she'll think that I'm a good teacher. We'll trick her into thinking that, okay? So here's some terms that we're gonna start talking about, besides the circle of fifths. We're gonna talk about what to call the distance between two notes. Did you know that there's names for how far apart two notes are? If they're one note apart, if they're two notes apart, three notes apart, four notes apart, then we have different names for those. But we'll start out with these ones. These are the smallest distances apart that a note is. So I'll just give you a clue. When you hear music being taught, the teacher will say things like, okay, now we're gonna play the note that's half a step above C. We're gonna play the note that's a whole step below F. And you'll need to know those distances and what they're talking about, okay? So this is the picture I'm gonna show you. If I can make an attempt to draw again and mess up to my embarrassment. Okay. Okay, so these are the smallest notes apart. For example, E going to F. Those two notes touch each other. So we call them half step. That's the smallest amount apart that two notes can be because they're touching each other. They're half step, okay? Memorize that. Notes that touch each other are half step. E and F are a half step. D sharp and E are a half step. So it could be a black key going to a white key, could be two white keys. The main thing is that they're touching each other. They're called half step, okay? So you could have F going to F sharp, that would be half step. B going to C, half step, okay? Okay, the next term that you can learn is called whole step. In a whole step, it's two notes and there's a note in between them. So C going to D is a whole step. Why? Because this note is in between. So they're called whole step. There's a note in between them. What's tricky is E going to F sharp is a whole step. Why? Because F is in between them. you see that? So you can have G sharp going to A sharp. That's a whole step because A is in between them. For me, it's easier to see it on the piano than to just see it in notes because you have to picture, like, wait, is there a note in between that? How about B going to C sharp? Whole step, right? Because it has notes in between. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a silent quiz. You don't have to chat. You don't have to unmute. I'm going to let you be lazy, but you better not be. I'm going to say a distance, and you're going to say in your head, is that whole step or half step? And then I'm going to count to 3, and I'll give you the answer. Okay, so you think. Okay, D as in dog, going to E as an elephant. D going to E, is that whole step or half step? Okay, think in your head. Don't answer. Okay, so we have this one. D going to E. It's a whole step because you had this note in between, right? It's a whole step. Okay, F going to G flat. F going to G flat. Is that a whole step or a half step? Just think it in your head. F going to G flat. So here we are here. F going to G flat. It's a half step because they're touching each other, right? That's a half step. Okay, how about B going to C? It's half. Do you see how B and C are touching each other? I don't mean to treat you like children. I just want to make sure that you're understanding it. Okay, let's do a harder one. E as an elephant going to F sharp as in fox. E going to F sharp. Whole step or half step? Okay, E going to F sharp. It's a whole step because F is in between. Okay, now I'm going to make this harder. Oh dear me. I'll make it harder for myself because I don't know how to use technology. Okay, you're going to look at this random screen that I shouldn't even have on my thing. Okay, now I'm going to say one and you say in your head, is that a whole step or half step? B going to C. B going to C. Whole step or half step? If you said half step, can you raise your hand? Yay, good, it's half step. B going to C is half step. There is nothing in between. Good job. Shannon raised her hand with it. Okay, how about D sharp, oh, sorry, C sharp going to D sharp. C sharp going to D sharp. Okay, if you said whole step, can you raise your hand? Yay, you got it. You're getting it. C sharp going to D sharp. So for me, it's easier to picture the keyboard in my head. And for those of you who don't play the piano, a lot of students even will just go online and print out a keyboard. Actually, I think, did I include one in the book? I'm not sure if I did. And you can label it just like my slide that was labeled here. And that can help you for a while, but then you need to get quick at just picturing how far apart notes are. Okay, all right, we have 3 minutes, and if you'll hang on, I'll talk about this. Okay, do you see how this, these are all the notes between two notes that are the same name? So the note on the bottom is C, the note on the top is C. And this is all the notes in between that have no sharps or flats because it's the key of C. Do you see it? So every letter name is included. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? Now, if you're thinking of the piano, if you can think of 3, you know, the piano has these 3 and then 4 groupings of 3 and 4. And if you're looking at C going to C, right? Which notes are half steps and which notes are whole steps? Do you see how obvious it is that the E and F are together and the B and the C are together? That's really, really important. It's so, for me, much easier to see it on a piano than then I guess I could make a text box here, but I'm just gonna put these ugly, ugly numbers. We're gonna talk more about this on Monday. My really ugly, sorry. So if we gave every note a number, then we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm putting a number with every letter name in the C scale. And the half steps are falling between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. Okay, let me undo that super fast. I need to let you go here soon because our class is about to be over. Do you see how they're labeling it in this picture? The half step is between E and F, and the half step is between B and C. This is steps 3 and 4 and steps 7 and 8. That's really important to remember, and I'm going to ask you that next time. Where are the half steps in a major scale? In every major scale, the half steps and whole steps are in the same place every time. And we'll talk about that more on Monday. But if you remembered it, that they were between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, then you would like make me the happiest teacher ever, because I would think you were actually listening and learning something. Okay, thank you for your attention today. No homework on Monday, but I will see you Monday. I'll try to make an announcement in the Google Classroom so you have record that I said no homework on Monday. And those who don't have books yet, I will do my best to contact you and get you PDFs online so you can at least fill in on your own. Okay, I need to let you go because the time is already up. So thank you, everybody. See you later.